Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going against common sense. We're gonna dump some time and money in this old 67 Mustang, or Rustang should we say. It was a true barn find, and I had a great time ripping it around in the part one, but by popular request, you guys wanna see this thing back on the road and saved. So the number one priority is gonna be structural work underneath. You saw it's really rotted out. The rest of it, honestly, cosmetically, like, I love the way this car looks. So we're probably gonna leave that just as it is. Heck, if the whole thing was just uniform rust, I'd love it. But, you know, that's just me. I know most of you guys would rather see a Mako paint job or something on there. But now I have found just the guy to take this on. Ben Peterson of Peterson Restoration's YouTube channel. He specializes in these old, not worth saving Mustangs. And so I'm gonna pull the engine trans today, get her stripped down, bring it up to him, and we'll see what he thinks. Let's just do a 360 spin around so you guys can see the condition of this. Most people watching would say, why don't you just go buy one that's not, you know, so rotted out and start with that? And that would be the smart decision. Just part this one out. Like, realistically, a lot of these disappear because parting it out is just the way to go financially. But we're in the business of trying to save stuff and save its soul, put it back on the streets, you know? So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're after. And I want a ratty Mustang. I don't want a nice, shiny, beautiful car. I like to drive something that has a little bit more character than that, you know? And if you remember in the part one, this 289, she runs minty. Maybe I'll hit Holly up, see if we can get a 4-barrel on this too to wake her up a little bit. Be nice if we were dropping all these parts on, but this is for a buddy's car. Put this 347 stroker and that'll wake her up a little bit. Probably rip this car in half, really. Oh, let's get to it. Might have to move that lift pad up. I mean, look at this. You can't even lift this car safely. Whole thing's flexing. That was about to blow up anyway. Oh, lower ripped off the red. Yeah, it was ready to pop off the red. It was leaking anyway. Ground cable. There she is. This will give us a good chance to pressure wash it and replace these steel freeze plugs. Not that they're leaking, but I'm sure they're paper thin. A little skimpy 3-speed. Maybe I'll even look up, see if we can get a 4-speed for it. That'd be nice. And that gives him lots of access to assess and address the situation. Might as well replace some more brake lines while we're in here too, and lots of other stuff. Yeah, this has got a Hyvo timing chain in it. It's quality right there. I don't like the signs I'm seeing in this cooling system. Looking like a blown head gasket. I suppose we might as well do head gaskets while we're this far too, huh? And then might as well rebuild the whole engine at that rate. Got a 180 thermostat in it, made by Deal Corp, Brooklyn, New York, USA. Pretty sweet. I'll probably reuse that. I'll shoot this up to him on Monday. And, you know, I guess I should probably pop the tank out of here too. Get that out of his way. I see pinholes all over the place. You can see that never would have been sucking any fuel. Completely blocked up. Catch some of the grease that comes off of this. Looking a little better. You can see this does a pretty good job capturing majority of the grime. And let's pop these freeze plugs out. Yeah, more evidence of milkiness. That's heavier than I thought. Cast iron case. This is one of the older style clutches that have all the springs lined around the edges. This friction disc still had a little life left in it, not completely burned, but this actually was slipping on the test drive a little bit. I couldn't tell if it was a rear wheel, one leg in it, but I think she was slipping. This is a Napa Fleet engine stand, probably the greatest engine stand ever. This is all solid bar, plate steel, real heavy duty. Let's take a peek inside to see what we're looking like. Oh yeah, not too crusty. A little bit of sludge buildup. And I see both heads are stamped with a 289 on them. If you guys remember, this distributor is seized into the block, which, you know, that hasn't gotten any better, so I'm gonna apply a little heat. Hopefully you can pop it out. And I'm not gonna be reusing this, guys, so I think I'm just gonna whale away on it a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna destroy it. That's the plan here. Hey. You know, I'll be honest, I'm having second thoughts about even tearing into this engine because I'm contemplating just leaving it all factory and stock. I was just reading up the benefits of adding a 4-barrel intake if you don't change out the cam and pistons on these two Venturi engines, and apparently there's not too much to really gain. And there's something to be said about having all original. But with how milky the coolant was, I know we're throwing head gaskets on bare minimum since it's out. Yep, stamped 289. As I'm zipping these head bolts off, quite a few were loose on this side, and check out, see if I can find one that's loose over here. No. No. Darn it. Trying to prove a point here. They're tight. There it is. See that? That one's super loose. There was like 3 loose ones on that side. Like they weren't falling out, but they only had maybe 25 foot-pounds on them, and definitely, I'm sure this head gasket was leaking with that. Probably could have just snugged them down and been fine, but you know. The gasket's really holding on. And here's how we're looking. You see these pistons have a slight dish to them. I was reading the 4 Venturi engines had a higher compression ratio. But, you know, cylinders, can't see a crosshatch pattern on them. They're good to go, though. Forget if I mentioned this oil pan's got some rust holes in it. I had just slapped RTV on that before when we ran it. And then on the heads, the valve stem ends have a good amount of wear as you look throughout. I think this one is probably the worst. You see that's cupped and mushroomed a fair bit. I'm sure these don't have hardened valve seats in them. It's like if you're gonna go doing a valve job and putting hardened seats in these heads, and you might as well get a set of aluminum heads like over here. Money well spent. You can see these are stamped 1966. Fomoco. And here's a glance at the bottom end. You see that Hivo chain. I don't know why they ever switched to using double roller timing chains. They're garbage compared to that. Had to last way longer. Pickup screen's not full of junk, but in the oil pan is another story. Look at this. There's all sorts of sludge and junk in there. Wow. Let's see what we got for lifters. Big item to check. See if they're all mushroomed. Yep, these are flat tappet hydraulic lifters. Now I'm going to just pull each one, make sure none are mushroomed or damaged looking. Don't want to mix these up. You know, swap push rods and be fine, but these not so much. The only issues I did find are a few collapsed lifters. I got 1, 2, and 3. You see how that plunger's down in the bore, and this one's all the way up to the clip. Oh, maybe I could soak these in diesel or something. A little sludge is in there. I'm not sure. All right, that's all gonna just sit in a pile of parts for now, because before I go any further with it, definitely want to find out what's going on with this. I'm gonna shoot this up tomorrow. So I actually just blew a brake line in the back, and I want to get that rectified before we go down the road again. And also, there is a good 2-barrel 302 coming out of this 71 Mustang that is free for the taking after we put the 347 in. So depending on how it looks, might just end up using that one. I mean, this engine's totally usable, but we haven't checked the rear brakes out on this at all yet, so let's see what they look like. There we go. Made in Taiwan. Oh, hey, Mr. Gooseman. You come over to say hi? Oh, the sun came out, huh? You want to go to the park or something instead of doing this junk? Brakes can wait, right? I tell you, this guy's laxy-daisy attitude makes me not want to work ever. Okay, we'll go to the park, boy. Give me a few minutes. And here's how we're looking. Not so good. Still got some meat on this side, but not so much on the other side. You can see this was hitting the drum too. Okay, Bubs, we're gonna go play tennis. You down for that? I'm terrible. Oh no, I just hit one over the fence. Gus, maybe you can go get that. Come here, boy. Come on, Gus, go get the ball. Come on, over here, boy. Go get the ball, boy. Go get the ball. Good boy, come on. Come on, guys, get the ball. Get the ball. Okay. All right, now bring us the ball back. All right, good boy, good boy. Come on. Come on, Gus. Come on. Good boy. Oh, Gus, come on. No, no. What are you doing? He says, wait, you can't get me back here. Good boy, good boy. He's so good. Oh, wait. He's like, wait a second. I got something going here.
Now he'll get the ball.
Yeah, now go get the ball. Well, that was great, taking advantage of the nice weather. I'll spend the rest of the night slapping these new shoes I just picked up. Wheel cylinders, brake hardware, some brake lines. Get these lights wired up. I put all new LED markers on the bed. And yeah, then we'll get this rig delivered tomorrow. Well, I did not finish the brakes yesterday. Ran into some complications and then decided to get more parts, like both parking brake cables and axle seals too. But the big issue was the backing plates. This is off the passenger side. The driver's was a lot worse. Rust holes all over it. So it should definitely get new ones, but for now, I'm just taking a bunch of scrap metal, old stuff, and just, you know, welding that in. Because, like, I don't know if you can see that little pinhole. This is all just paper thin in certain areas. And yeah, that's kind of the structure of it. So it's not pretty, but I also had to re-weld on new pads. Many hours later, all done, bled out. Of course, I started up and it popped another line up front. This one right here, which is funny because it's actually a newer line. You can tell it's been replaced up top. Looks great, but big score. Check it out. Found some spare keys zip tied under here. Oh yeah. Very nice. Good to have a spare set of keys. And we're finally off, going to see Peterson. This truck has a little bit of a raspiness. I don't know if you can hear it. Like that. There it is, with that Jeep muffler I put on. Oh, I don't know. I guess I'll have to live with it or throw something different on there. Brakes feel good. See what kind of fuel economy we get on this trip too. It's about 2 hours each way. This will be the first long trip for the rollback. This will all be green pretty soon here. Spring is in the air. Just top off for diesel so we can calculate fuel mileage on this trip. Well, that took forever to fill because they got like a 3/4 inch PVC, and then the vent actually, I had to take it off because it's pinched between the bed here. And she's topped off. And I just reset the trip on my GPS app so we can track exact miles. Darn belt is squealing again. Hopefully it holds at least together for the way there. And the Speedo's chirping at me. It's enough to drive you crazy. But we've got a gear vendor and should be smooth, steady on the highway. And she hums along in between 65, 70 very comfortably. Don't know if the belt's still slipping, but all I hear is the breeze. Don't fail me now, baby. Can't imagine what the tow bill would be if we had to get this off the road. Gosh dang, these hills are murder on this thing. It is, I mean, we're panting. Actually, I have to shift into third now. He's got no balls at all. She is a turd up the hills. It's to be expected, though. Sure, I'm glad we got those brakes rectified too. Fair bit of downhill out this way. A little bit of haze in the sky, almost like a forest fire or something. Made it, and I think I got the right place. This rollback is so convenient. This is Ben Peterson of Peterson Restorations. If you guys are into fixing old rusty Mustangs, you know, his channel will be down below. What would you say you specialize in?
65 to 73 Mustangs. I do a lot of fastback work. If you see any of my videos, it's a lot of fastbacks. But I have a green coupe like this myself, so this is right up my alley.
So attack plan. What are you thinking we're gonna?
So after looking at it while I was here, I would say just structurally to make it safe and reliable, to just do front to back, entire bottom side, which is really only 3 pieces. If you know the aftermarket Mustang parts, they make a 1-piece Supreme floor that's from front rail the whole way back to the back of the rear rail and everything in between. So just drop out a big section, lift that one up in place there, and really takes care of every issue that you have. It'll take care of.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a good plan to me, because if you were trying to put in frame rails back there or whatever, it's like you got nothing to even weld it to, I feel like.
Yeah, it just is spidered into everything.
And up front, he was saying they sell complete aprons that...
Yeah, they make this whole 1-piece shock tower assembly. It's front apron, back apron, the tower, and rail all in one. So this is the front end from the firewall forward is only 3 pieces. Right, left, rad support. Your rad support, I would say to use. It might just need some little patches, but it actually doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, I mean, structurally, I don't see any rust holes through there.
Yeah, so it'll just get cleaned up a little bit where I'm welding. It's a lot easier of a process than what it may sound like or look like, just because it's so involved, but it's really just 3 pieces that we're replacing.
Cool. Well, that sounds good to me. Sounds like we got the right guy for the job on this. You make this sound like it's going to be real easy.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I've done Mustangs for so many years, it just back of my hand.
You got any other projects going on right now? Or
yeah, there's a couple of customer cars. This is one that needs full sheet metal job, which is pretty much everything. Roof.
What year is this? Like 69 or 70?
69. This is actually a 428 Cobra Jet car.
Really?
4-speed.
Okay. Interior. So like these are the cars that it's really worth doing this kind of.
This one, especially being a Cobra Jet car, the value's up there pretty good. It makes it worth doing something this rough.
Man, this kind of just fell in on itself, did it? Oh wow, the upper control arms just rotted through too.
Oh yeah.
Automatic, or it's a
4-speed.
4-speed. Okay. Heck yeah.
Mach 1.
Yeah, she's a beaut. So this is your main shop here for...
This is the clean area. That, where your car's at, it's a sheet metal shop, so it contains all the dirt and rust. This is where I do all the assembly after paint. This is actually a local customer's car. He bought it when he was, I think, 15 or 16. It was his first car.
Really?
He's in his 50s now. And I'm just doing, I just was redoing all the interior. This is another special one. This is actually a 428 Super Cobra Jet. That one outside the Cobra Jet, this is a Super Cobra Jet. It's just a little step above, which is strange because 69, 70 is when they really started using the big blocks. So it's 428 Cobra Jet, 428 Super Cobra Jet, and that's actually a Boss 429 car. So that's like the 3 top of the line ones. These are all customers' cars. All 3 of those are customer cars.
Were these louvers factory?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Factory option.
Super cool.
And the
Mach 1.
That's a factory option also.
Alright, now we can just hope this thing gets us back home. Might make a little pit stop along the way too. I tell you, I am so excited to see that car again. Ben really seems like he knows what he's doing. It's in the right hands for sure. I probably would butch that thing up. And just think, next time we see it, it's gonna look the same. Which is just what I want. He's gonna try not to mess with any of the green or rust on that's visible from the outside of it. The rusty bullet, whatever you want to call her. Well, I pulled off for a couple things. Can't take the speedo noise anymore, so we're gonna address that. And I noticed the belt squeal went away. We're not charging anymore. Oh, it's nice having a parking brake. Yes. All right. Oh man, that power steering got loose again too. That one we need, because that's what gives us our brakes. But yeah, this thing is just paper thin. Luckily, we do have some belts. Almost like the previous guy knew this was an issue. Apparently we have a bunch of them. It's nice having extra parts, along with some basic tools. Actually, I don't have sockets, so I don't know. That's real good for the alternator. Good stuff. Snug her down good. And then to get rid of the speedo noise for now, I just disconnected it at this little extension that comes off the gear vendor. So we don't have to listen to that no more. We're gonna make a little pit stop in Phoenixville on the way home. Go visit Tony Angelo from Stay Tuned Garage. We're passing by historic Reading, Pennsylvania, off in the distance. It's either Patagonia or whatever it's called up on top of the ridge. You know, lots of rich history in this town. I believe it used to be like the Amish capital of Pennsylvania. You know, don't quote me on that, but lots of interesting stuff. You know, the Reading Railroad, I mean, come on. Everybody knows the Reading Railroad from Monopoly, right? So you guys might recognize this place, Tony Angelo, Stay Tuned Garage. We're over here just, again, they're kind of video and doing their thing. I don't want to mess with them too much, but we just pulled the subframe out, dropped that down. They're getting their hot rod Lincoln. You getting this thing a little tightened up, right?
Trying to figure it out, trying to get the wheels to go in the right direction.
Yeah, so I figured out how these guys stay in a good mood all the time. You know, they just spray paint and leave the door closed and feel great. So,
Brain cells, who needs them?
If you guys haven't seen his channel before, definitely check him out. You've been doing videos for what, like a year or two now, right?
Yeah, maybe 2 years full-time total.
Yeah, you might recognize him from Hot Rod Garage was the show. Yeah, but I mean, he's the real deal. He's not like, you know, just walking around with GoPro pointing at himself. He's got a professional film crew here. I mean, they're bringing real knowledge to the platform about racing and doing fun stuff. All right, well, I think I've overstayed my visit here now because Tony treated me to tacos, and I think it's usually pizza, right?
Yeah, it's usually pizza, but we like everything here.
I'm just joking, but he's actually got some E7 heads off of what year Mustang?
I think it's 88. Actually up the motor we built for Derek.
These will go on the 67 Mustang, breathe a little better, and be good to go. Got some valve covers too, aluminum. I mean, tell me it's not just dumb luck that he was getting rid of these. Like, this is great. These are gonna flow good. Oh, back in the hometown, and I tell you, not a hiccup out of this truck. I mean, she just purrs right down the highway. Let's find out how much diesel and calculate the fuel consumption. Yeah, we got 14.84 gallons, and that was 215 miles. Well, 14.5 miles to the gallon. That's not too bad. You would never see that from a big block. Probably not even a 350 in this. Of course, diesel's a touch more expensive, and this thing doesn't have any power, but you know, 15 miles to the gallon. I mean, we were hammered down too, so I'm happy with that. I have a whole new respect for this truck after this highway trip. I mean, I would drive this in California in a heartbeat. Hit the road, you know? Didn't even eat a drop of oil. How about that? That's what I like to see. It's a healthy motor. Ended up doing some more late night maintenance. I got these mile marker front locking hubs. They seem much better quality and better design than what was on there. This is what was on there. One of them I'll save because it was still working, but the other kind of just blew apart, and it was actually just this little plastic ring that cracked, and that's why it don't work. And then I greased up the rollback track, got the marker lights wired. I just threw a new fuel filter in. Let's cut this old one open, see if there's any crud in there. Quite a bit of crud in there. Oh, glad I replaced that. Yeah, see how this is all milky? It wasn't all water, but you can hear the water crackling in there. Show you guys all these belts. You see the power steering one started squealing too, and you know, thin it got compared to the brand new alternator belt I put on yesterday. Well, the reason for that is this thing sat for a long time, so it got these rusted pitted pulleys, and it's just gonna keep tearing belts up. I'm gonna wire wheel them and give it another go, but once they get pitted like that, they tend to tear belts up. That should do it. Oh yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Saw a touch of wobble on the outer pulley, but nothing's loose. The damper's tight too, so I'll be all right. Much better. Could be better, but good enough. Oh, and in case you guys are wondering what I did with the front brake line that blew out the other night, I just put a union in there with the little extension, because I took the whole line out and it looked completely fine. So I covered it in surface shield. I don't know who would put this filler on here, but it was pretty hacked. And drilled a hole through the sleeper, and got a pipe JB welded into the filler neck, and this skimpy thick wall, like Schedule 80 PVC. No wonder, yeah, it's 1 inch. No wonder it wasn't flowing. So I'll get that rectified. Ended up relocating it back under the cover where it should be with full diameter hose. And this is not rigidly mounted, so if you need to pull it up a little bit for depending on what you're filling it with, like a funnel or something, you can. That'll work. And next on the list is the ladies. The ladies gotta go. I've already got a lady and she's amazing. So these are bolted on from the back, and you know, we haven't been able to open this door yet. There's actually a cover on the bottom, so you can't get to it to take the lock out without taking all those screws. Can't access them. But I was able to take this cover off, pop the lock out, and then practice picking it. So I think we can do that on this one now. I actually brought this over to Stu's Lock Shop too to see what they thought about making a key. 150 bucks, which, you know, I mean, gotta pay the price, but I'm thinking maybe I'll take a stab at doing it myself first. And if I butch it, then I'll break it to him. So we could just rake this open here. Rake it! There it is. I am a terrible locksmith. Might have to hit this with a buffer. Ah, gone. Well, apparently having these on your truck is like a calling for the lot lizards when you go to a truck stop, letting them know, hey, come hang out in my sleeper. That's what I'm told anyway. I'll just hit these with a dab of clear silicone for now. It's fine. And actually, I think we'll leave the cover out because we could, you know, hang some stuff in here or whatever. Like, it's not insulated, so just loosen space because there's already not very much in here, which this could easily be bumped out because, yeah, you got another like 8 inches between the tank and there. Good enough for now. Go do the other side and then make a key. I think what we got to do is get this stainless steel bezel off first. It's crimped on. Here we go. Oh, you see the goal here. We have to get these little brass guys to float in the center. If they go too far out the other way, they'll hit the other channel and then you can't rotate it. Now, using the door key from the truck would be the, I mean, that actually fits in there pretty good, but you can see we would have to file these all down and take all the locks out to do that method. Well, the other option is getting a blank GM key and we can recut it. Like I got this junk one, but see, that ain't gonna work because it doesn't push these two down far enough and I can't add material to it. Let's take a ride to the local hardware store, see if they got a key. Not too many old school hardware stores left, you know? It's a really cool spot. We got the old school machine over here. Old school. The Elko. Yeah, I haven't seen one of these in years. You got all the keys for the old cars. There it is. So I had them cut me one for the door key and then one blank. I'll go mess with that or maybe make one out of plastic, but it's just the coolest little hardware store. I mean, you don't see too many like this anymore. So every time, I mean, come on, look at this place. I could just let the camera roll the whole time in here. So neatly organized. I love it. And they have, I mean, every time I come in here for something, like, they've got it. So whenever I can support them over like a Home Depot or a Lowe's, you know, I do. And a lot more of their stuff is made in USA too. I think is because a lot of it's just old stock, like, you know, old stock stuff. Somebody will buy that, right? Well, we'll just hack this key up and see if we can get it to work. Oh yeah, look at that. So it's not dead on perfect, but I'll have them go recut it and I'm sure that'll be good. One more thing fixed. So let's get back to talking about the Mustang. We got these used E7 TE heads from Tony. Thanks very much for those, by the way. And now I'm looking at them, I'm wondering if we should actually use them or not, because I was doing a little bit of research and the main reason to not use them would be the combustion chamber size. So this is the 302 head, and these are the 289s that came off of it. And you see the combustion chamber, how there's this big bump there, and this one's all ovaled out. I believe these are 66 cc's, and these are, I think, 55 cc's. So I don't think we really want to lose compression, considering we already have a slight dish on those pistons to begin with. Also, as you notice looking at these, you have to make sure to use the proper head gaskets. These will bolt up to the 289. They'll work, but you see different coolant ports. And then also on the rockers, I would have to talk to him and measure those push rods that came out of it, or even get them from him, because these don't have adjustable rockers. You just bolt these down and the lash is, you know, preset to whatever it is. This does have adjustable, I think these are cast iron rockers, but of course this one needs a valve job. We don't know if it has hardened seats. I think you'd normally see like a ring, from what I understand. But another thing I noticed is I would have thought these modern heads flowed better, but I measured the ports, they're identical. Valves, same size too. So as you guys know, when they started using unleaded gas, manufacturers had to start putting hardened valve seats in their heads, and so anything, you know, mid 70s and after would have that. And I think they do it, they use like an induction process, so it's not an actual seat like you would see on an aluminum head, but they just use induction to harden the seat. You see this has got the umbrella style valve seals. Not too much wear in the guide. I'm trying to take the intake valve out. Can't even get it because it's got to be filed down first. Look, you can see that had some heat built up on it too. All cleaned up. You see the valves are actually in really nice condition. Exhaust valve has a little bit of pitting, you know, but I've seen much worse. And yeah, these don't appear to be any kind of inserts. However, I mean, if they are, they did a killer job, because I can't tell. But the seats are actually in really nice condition, and from what I was reading, it's actually just the exhaust that people would normally, for a cast iron head, you would just do the hardened exhaust seats, not the intake. These valves might be at the end of their life, because see, if you resurface this top anymore, it brings the rocker closer to the valve spring retainer, and see the rocker's already hitting it on you know, with this design. So you go cutting that stem down more and you cause yourself issues. But you can see the stems definitely need reconditioning, because look how cupped that is. Like, that valve probably isn't even rotating. So what are your guys' thoughts? Get these cleaned up, slap them back on, keep it all original, or put the HO heads on and then Don't worry about the low compression because maybe we'll throw a turbo kit on it in the future. I don't know, lots of options. I'm gonna take a break on it and then get started pulling this engine out and doing all that stuff I was talking about before. I think that's all I got for now. It's Friday. I wanna go get this video edited and posted today. I'm a one-man operation, so you gotta cut me some slack on the productivity rate here. If anybody's got a good used 4-speed that would fit the 67, let me know. Shoot me a PM. I would be interested in purchasing that. Thank you to you guys that have commented in the past about Tony's channel. Let me know he was a local guy. It was really cool meeting him, and I hope to do some more stuff with him in the future. You'll be seeing more of the rollback, but they'll probably just be peppered in repairs along the way. I don't know if I'll do any more dedicated videos to that truck. It's just a useful tool to have around, and it's kind of good enough. You know, like I'm not gonna refurbish it. I don't care about rusty rockers. It don't bother me. The next time you see the green Mustang, it will be a stout unit, not all flexy wobbly going down the road. Peterson is doing a video on it too, so I'll plug a link to that when he does that video. He'll go into much more detail. I'll just show you, wow, good metal underneath. Heck yeah. Turns out it's, you know, it's easier to just hire people, which is awesome. You know, I'm super happy to pay him to do that work, as I did not want to do it. It probably would have taken me 6 months. All that said, thank you guys very much for tuning in, especially if you've tuned in this far. And thank you very much to the people that have bought shirts. I'm not wearing my shirt right now, but yeah, thank you guys. I do notice those sales come through, and I'm not always pushing it, but thank you so much for the support on the channel. No nonsense, know how, and it's time to go edit. See you guys soon. You see you over in your sun patch? The ever-moving sun patch. It's funny watching him. He'll be over there when it turns shady. He scoots on over. Yeah. We'll get you a little treat. Little greenie to clean those teeth. He got a stinging nettle yesterday. He jumped into a pile of it and then bounced out, so he was licking his paws for like a whole day. Poor guy.